Hi everyone, welcome back. Javi here with ROAMfit with Javi. I am joining you with Nona and Jamie, and we are here in Austin after just doing a biking tour around, what area is this?
Downtown.
Around downtown Austin. So what we want to present today is the spinal wave. From the spinal wave, we go to a full body wave, but what I'd like you to think about and leave here today with is the idea of the spinal wave as the basis and the foundation of the spiritual triangle. Okay? So if we look at a triangle, we see that there is a wide base and eventually two sides come to a point. Okay? So we're going to see how this works in the body itself and then also in the energetic body. So let's get started. There's going to be 3 parts to this, and the first part is going to be rocking on the toe and the heel forward and back. The next part is going to be doing that same rocking using the pelvis to steer that movement, and then the third part will integrate it and try to create the full body wave from the spinal wave. So let's begin. The first part, I want you to bring your mind, and you can close your eyes for this exercise if you want. You can bring your mind and your attention down all the way to your feet. Okay? If you know how to sustain your posture erect, then I'd like you to do that as well. So for this exercise, for this first part, the knees are locked. Okay? Now that your mind is down in your feet, feel the connection of the foot on the earth, on the ground. It's better to do this barefoot. We have shoes on here as we're in this park. So what I'd like you to feel is the weight of your body on the heel. You can lift your toes while you do this. And then move your weight forward onto the toes. And you can lift your heel while you do this. So we want to just feel those 2 points, forward and back. You lift your toes, weight on the heel. Lift your heel, weight on the toes. So now we have an idea of a range of motion that we can move in and out of without losing our balance. Does that make sense? Without having to take a step. Okay? So if you're interested in Tai Chi, this is very important in maintaining your space and keeping your balance within your space. Tai Chi is also founded upon a good base and foundation. So as I'm talking, you can continue to rock forward, backward, and forward on the toe and the heel. Okay? So the reason that I start here at the feet is because we want to create a full body exercise, not just with this exercise, but with all of the exercises that we do within Tai Chi and Qigong. So now that we feel that and we have that, I'd like to present the question, okay, so what are you steering your weight with right now? What would you say you're steering your weight with on the toe and on the heel?
Toes, I think my toes.
You using the feet? Yeah,
Feet, yeah.
Using the feet. Okay. So we're using the feet as we lift the toes to move on to the heels, and then as we lift the heels to move on to the toes. Okay.
My breath a little bit.
A little bit of the breath? Okay. So now what I'd like you to do is bend the knees. We're moving on to the second part. So bend the knees and also relax the pelvis. So you have what we call a little bit of a high horse stance. Okay? So you feel the weight of your torso and your head on your legs. More specifically on the hips and on the knees and then on the ankles and feet. And so you feel like you're carrying your weight on those 3 joints. Hips, knees, ankles. Okay? So now what I'd like you to do, we're going to go back to the first exercise, moving the weight of the body on the feet. But what I want you to do is now with this next exercise, steer the weight with your pelvis. So what you're going to do is as your knees are bent, you're going to move your pelvis forward, and then the weight of your body goes onto the toes. move your pelvis back, and then the weight of your body goes on your heels. Pelvis forward, weight on the toes. Pelvis back, weight on the heels. So get a sense of that and how that feels as you relax the pelvis, keep it relaxed, and move it forward and bring your weight onto the toes, and then move it back, bring your weight back onto the heels. So in terms of, if you're picturing a triangle, the spiritual or the energetic or the body triangle, we're focusing here now in the middle of the triangle, whereas at the beginning in the first exercise we were at the base. Okay. So now let's distinguish the first two exercises. Okay. So the first one, we were on the feet and we were standing erect. The knees, I keep the knees locked, but you can have a slight bend to them if you want. And we're moving the weight of our feet, or the weight of the body, on the toes and the heels with the feet. Now with the second exercise, we bend the knees, relax the pelvis, and use the pelvis to steer the weight forward and back. So when we talk about the spine wave, this is where we can begin, because the spine ends right here at the end of the tailbone. Okay. From here, now we can start to wave the spine as we move the pelvis forward and back. Now, when we talk about waving the spine, our goal is to move the spine section by section, one vertebrae at a time. Okay. So that requires our mind going into each vertebrae section by section. Take a second and see if you can do that. And you're going to start at the tailbone. You're going to start at the pelvis. You're going to move forward. Feel that come into the abdomen. Feel that come into the chest, and then the shoulders. And then there's a reset as the pelvis then moves back. So the pelvis comes forward. Feel that come in the abdomen, chest, shoulder, and feel that going up the spine, up into the neck or up into the shoulders. And then there's a reset. You sink your weight, pelvis forward. And I like to cue with the abdomen, chest, and then shoulder. However, you want your mind in the spine. And so it's just gonna be a process of where your mind registers on how you move your spine section by section. Some people are not able to feel into their vertebrae. Eventually you want to feel the small of the back open and closing. So this area right here, you want to feel this opening and closing, and feel it smoothly opening and closing. And then that going up the spine and then down into the pelvis. Okay. So the third exercise is the spinal wave, and then what we're going to do after that is then connect all three exercises. So let's go through the spinal wave, and I'll cue you with the spinal wave starting from the pelvis. And I like to do the goal is a full body wave, but essentially what we're doing is a spine wave. However, I like for that whole wave to be distributed out from the feet to the top of the head, and that's eventually our goal, is to have the whole body moving as it's connected to the earth, and then if we think in terms of Qigong, as it's connected to the sky. Okay. So, but for now, for this third part of the exercise, we're going to start from the base of the spine and then go to the neck. Okay. So let's bend the knees. Let's relax the pelvis. And the pelvis is going to go forward, and I'm going to cue you as I just did with the pelvis, hips, abdomen forward, chest, and then shoulders forward. So let's reset, bend the knees, and you can sink your weight here. So the hips, pelvis move forward, abdomen moves forward, chest, and then it goes up to the neck. And then you kind of rise up. You feel how you rise up and out. Then you sink to reset. Bend the knees, and then you start over again. Hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders, known as giving you a side view. I'm gonna sink again and reset. Hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders. Now here's a tip for this third part of the exercise. Put one hand on the abdomen and the other hand on the chest. Yeah, in the solar plex area. Okay. So watch as I do that. My pelvis, hips move forward, and then my hands close. See that? As my hands close. And then my abdomen moves forward, then my chest, and then my shoulders. And now you can see my hands open. Okay? So a lot of times in Qigong and Tai Chi, we talk about the spine as one of 6 bows in the body, 2 bows in the legs, 2 bows in the arms, spine bow, and chest bow. And these isolated parts create a whole body movement. So for now, we're isolating the spine bow, and the spine bow closes and opens in this way. As you tilt your pelvis forward and head forward, you see how my hands close. As I open and erect the spine, the hands open and create distance. See that? So if we look at a gross movement of the spine, we see that closing and opening does this. That's the gross movement of the spine. What we want is a smooth and fluid wave-like motion of the spine. Okay? And that is what gives us the spine wave. So let's do that again. We start from the pelvis, hips, abdomen, chest, and then shoulders. And then we reset, bend the knees. Hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders, up, open, reset, bend the knees. Hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders, and then bend the knees, reset. Hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders, and then reset. So now that you have these 2 points where you're open at the top, you're closed at the bottom, those are your 2 points. What you want to do is then now move through those cyclically and move as if those are one motion from one point to the other. So if you watch me, I'm moving through the bottom and I'm going up to the top in the open position, and then I just fall and reset. At the bottom, I begin again. Hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders. I'm at the top and I'm open, and then I sink and reset. I inhale as I rise up and open, and then I exhale as I sink and close. Inhale. Exhale. This is reset and relax. And now you open, hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders. And exhale, relax, reset. Now hips forward, abdomen, chest, shoulders. And exhale. Good. Great. Now to integrate and cycle back to the first exercise, what I'm going to ask you to do is keep doing this motion. What I'm going to ask you to do is when you sink and when you're close, bring your weight to your heels. Now when you open and lift up, bring your weight to your toes. Yawning is good. You're activating the parasympathetic. So sink down and close the spine and bring your weight to your heels. You can lift your toes if you like. Now come up. Hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders. And at that point when you're open and up, you should be on your toes. And your weight's forward. So see right here, if you look at from the side, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit and I'm going to come forward like that. And then now I'm going to come back, sit on the heel. Open, hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders, and I'm on the toes here as my weight is forward, Yeah. And then down. Yeah. So that is the spinal wave into the full body wave, building the spiritual triangle, the energetic triangle, and the body triangle. This is the root of all of our movements that we do in Tai Chi and Qigong. It starts at the spine with a soft spine. Eventually it goes down to the feet where we connect to the ground. And then at the top of the spine, this connects us to the crown, to the gate and chakra, which then connects us to the sky. So that is the spinal wave and the spiritual triangle. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below if you have any questions or if you'd like to contribute something to the spinal wave. And that's it for now. Thank you.